Hello everyone, it's Jedimanda here, and welcome to my tutorial on how to make Wanda's 50s party dinner dress. This tutorial is not too difficult if you know how to sew and know how to follow a simple dress pattern. I am using the Vogue 8789 pattern for her dress. Now we are going to be altering a little bit, so all you need is a very long zipper, the one suggested on the pattern, and a whole bunch of fabric. I am using this stash fabric I had that is a bit of a poly charmeuse in teal. I think her dress is definitely along the lines of this color. It could be a little more blue, could be a little more green, but honestly it's up to you and what you want to do. Now with this pattern specifically, I will be altering, actually not really altering too much. I'm just gonna be adding on stuff. So from here until we get to, I would say, the bow and the top little part off of the shoulders, you're just going to follow the directions on what is given. This is a bias cut bodice dress. Make sure you put your fabric on the bias while you're cutting. It is really, really nice to have a bias bodice, but it is a little stretchy, so just FYI if you're not used to working with the bias, excuse me. I did end up flipping this fabric pretty much inside out. I am actually using the non-fashion side fabric because I wanted a little more subtle, a little more matte look instead of the super shiny. So if this is what you'd like, and up to you, it is totally cool. Remember to press along with the directions that you're going along, because this dress is very flimsy and finicky, so make sure you press all of your edges. So right now I'm going to, looks like we're getting ready to start the dress. Yes, gathering to every ounce of your life, that top part. Make sure you run 2 rows of stitching for the gather. Now, once you have it gathered, add in your zipper. For some reason, this zipper went in so beautifully. I just have to show you, like, it's so nice. My invisible zipper foot from my Bernina machine worked so well. I loved it. Continuing to follow along the directions that are given with the pattern, this is the waistband, and it's a little bit of a gathered waistband, and within the directions it'll let you know where to make these stitching lines to gather, and then once you have all these little spots gathered, you will need to press them down firmly with a hot iron. Okay, now is when we started to go off directions a little bit. So this is going to be the shrug piece that goes over my shoulders. So basically I took the measurement of the entire neck edge, and I think that's about 5 inches, and then doubled, so 10 inches, and then basically just made a big square. Then it is attached by hand. So right here I'm actually making the bow for the front. The bow, I believe, is about maybe 6 inches across. And it's pretty simple. Gather it in the middle, stitch it down, and once you have that stitch done, then we're going to cover it with a piece of the leftover bias scrap that I had, and then just hand sew that extra down so you have a nice fluffy bow for the front of your dress. From here on out, I hand sewed everything. So once I had the shrug across my shoulders and gathered down to the center front and center back where I wanted it, I hand sewed that spot all over the shoulders, and then I hand sewed the bow onto the front. It's really nice to, at this point, to hand sew everything so you can really see what works and what doesn't, and you can adjust it where it needs to be. At this point in time, I did a fitting and I realized I needed to take the darts in the bodice in a little bit more, so I'm just showing where I slipped in and undid the dress a little bit to take in some more darts to make the bodice fit a little bit better. Now I will say this is a bias cut bodice, so it does stretch quite often and move a lot more. I would suggest maybe putting some boning in on the side seams to help keep a little more structure, just some light boning. I did find that was a good thing I should have done later on in the video. For some reason, it just kept creeping up. The bodice kept creeping up. So right here is where I am measuring for the hem. Make sure you take that measurement while you're having your first fitting and go ahead and do a blind hem so you do not see those stitches. Now make sure your dress is cat approved and looks really nice so we can move on to the next step. Now, I will say before we move on to the hair, I am wearing a crinoline in the final photos and video for this just to puff it out just a little bit more. I really do love how this looks. My side zipper and then where the waistband comes together on the side, just place some hook and eyes and you're done with your dress. Okay, so let's move on to the wig. The wig I have is an Amazon purchased wig. I have it in the links below in the description if you would like to purchase this exact wig. I did get it and I found it was a little too long, so I just kind of sheared it up around the sides and the back edge before we went into curl it in the direction that I want. Now, I did choose a lace front for this option because it is very high up off of her forehead and does show the hairline. Totally up to you if you want to use this, but you don't have to. Now to style this hair, it is a synthetic wig, so it styles with steam heat, not iron or anything else. So once I put it in the rollers that I wanted in the directions that I wanted, I took my steamer and steamed it out just like you see so. Now the trick is with this is to steam it pretty good, and you'll actually see the hairs kind of crump in a little bit around the roller when you're using your steam, but do not take the rollers out until it is completely dry. You want that steam to really take into those hair follicles. And once you take your rollers out, now it's time to style. She has this very, very high up front, a very classic 50s look with super curl, high front, and kind of slick back sides with a little bit of curl kind of dripping down. So have fun with this, look at some reference pictures, see what you like, maybe even trim some hair if you would like, but she definitely has that side part in a very high front for Wanda's 50s hair. And once you are done, give it a nice spritz with some hairspray and kind of keep some tape near or some pins and kind of set the curls where you want it until you are ready to wear it. But I do really love how this turned out. So this I actually ended up not wearing in the final reveal, you will see, but I did make her apron just with some scrap fabric I had laid around, some scrap cotton and some scrap organza. It's pretty simple little apron, just a square to whatever size you'd like, and then gathered together with the organza on the top and the cotton on the bottom, and then with a piece of ribbon to give a good waistband. I don't know why I forgot this. It was just laying in my bathroom with all my other things, and I just never wore it for the reveal. Oops, it was late at night. It still looks cute though. Only if you want. I do think that this little apron is quite adorable, especially if you have photo shoots or you walk around with a lobster, maybe on a fishing line. I don't know, just giving you some cool ideas or something that I want to see at a convention. So here's the final look. I think it is so cute. We have one more thing that we're gonna make, and that is her necklace. Okay, because I am crazy, I decided to 3D print her necklace. Now I realize she does have earrings and a bracelet, but I just ran out of time and I decided to do the necklace. Now in the description below is the free 3D print file that I found on Thingiverse, and it was, to my knowledge, I think a daisy? I'm not sure, but I printed 9 of them, and they ended up working for me. I thought they were super cute, printed them in white, PLA, and then I just applied rhinestones to the top of them, and then used some E6000 to put it on a chain with a clasp in the back. Pretty simple. so we're finishing up here. I'm just putting the clasps on the final necklace. And I will say this dress turned out so cute. This is a perfect, maybe weekend build. It does not take too long to put together. I really appreciated the simpleness of this because lately my builds have been pretty crazy and will be from here on out. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. So let's get to a reveal. Thanks y'all for joining me on this tutorial on making 1950s Wanda. If you do use this tutorial to make your own Wanda, please let me know in the comments below and tag me in social media. I would love to see. Now for the rest of this month, we are doing all Wanda content, so I will see you next week with another Wanda video for this year's Halloween. Bye y'all!